happening, people? Hey guys, the day is July the 8th and it is 6:55. I am at Hyco Lake and it is already humid this morning. The water temperature is up. The water temperature right here in this cove is 86 degrees. So the water's hot and the water is very clear. And that hot water, clear water, makes for catching crappie tough. So I have not been here in well over a month. Don't know how the crappie have transitioned. That's a part of fishing. We got to figure out a pattern. I'm going to run down the lake and fish some brush in about 20 to 25 feet of water to start off with. And if the sun pops out, that's going to push the crappies to the shade. Summertime, think shade, shade, shade. Anyway, we're going to see what we can catch today. Hey guys, stay with us. I hope you enjoyed the video. So I haven't been out on the lake fishing for about a month. The last time I was fishing on the lake was when I was at Kerr Lake. I found a huge school of crappie. That was the day I got sick. So I've been sick I was sick pretty bad for about a week. Had the COVID and took me about 2 extra weeks to kind of get over it. And it's been hot. Been having a lot of stuff to do, get caught up around the house and whatnot. So this is really the first chance I've had to get out and go back and do some fishing. Like I said earlier, I'm at Hyco Lake, and this is kind of my home lake. And so fortunately, I know several places, deep water structure, humps under the water, and some pretty good docks. And we have some structure under the water. The water is about 22 feet here. And it looks like most of the fish that I've marked today are down around 20 feet. Looks like the thermocline is right at 22, 24 feet. So those fish are right above that thermocline in that cooler water. This brush under the water, we're going to ease up here. I just happen to have this bait tied on. It is a 16th. I think that color is live bait. That's a lake country bait. And it's chewed up pretty bad. I think the last time I used it, me and Dennis was fishing together. It's chewed up pretty good. The fish like that color. Natural color, water's clear, you need to stick with some natural colors. And you know, first off, what we're gonna do, we're gonna locate this brush. We're gonna get within casting distance, 30 to 40 feet. And this area right through here is a lot of shad. I'm looking at them on the live scope. They're 20 to 23 feet deep. Lots and lots of shad. Find a shad, you find the crappies. And when we find this underwater structure, if it's crappie on it, what we want to do is cast up past. This is a 16th, so it's going to take 10 to 12 seconds for it to drop down into the strike zone. It's cloudy today. If you get a cloudy day like this, a lot of times those crappie will be higher up in the water column and they won't be as deep. So I'm also rigged up to vertical jig these fish too. But I don't want to just ride right up to them and start vertical jigging, because some of those bigger crappie are going to move away from that structure when that boat gets close. And so we want an opportunity to catch a big one if we can. So we'll just go up here. I'll stay back, like I said, 30 to 40 feet, cast to them, see if that works. If that don't work, we'll drop a lure right straight down in on them. So hey, let's go catch a fish. Well, boys, we had to work for him. That's almost you know, that's almost a 10-inch crappie there. Good summertime crappie. That is the dipstick color, lake country baits. It looks just like a shad. And crappie's got beautiful crappie. Look, it's got some blues in him, some greens. You know, I've casted these crappie on this structure here. It swam the bait over. There was a bunch of crappie sitting over top of the bait. I cast into them, and crappie being very lethargic this morning. far as biting. And I finally got right over the structure, vertical jigged, fishing 6-pound test line. I probably need 2. Probably need live bait. I think I would be more successful with live bait, but as you know, I don't fish much live bait. Now, that one hit the rubber jig. I've got a couple of hair jigs tied on, so I'm gonna go up there and drop a couple of hair jigs in. I've been playing with colors this morning. Just been trying to use natural colors. I fished some hair jigs. I fished some other structure with no success. Crappie will come up and bump it, but they won't eat the lure. The water gets this clear. Sometimes if you want to catch fish and put them in the live well, you might ought to carry you a couple of dozen minnows, because sometimes they just don't react well. But sometimes you fish structure or docks, certain part of the lake, ride 1 mile up the lake, and boom, they bite good. So you just don't ever know. There was a lot of fish here, so I've spent a little time here, and I'm going to hit some docks this morning too. So let's ease up here and see if we can catch another fish. Now that was a good reaction right there. Actually, the crappie came up and bit it as the lure fell down. And you know, that's that dipstick color, that green. You know, that's a 9.5-inch crappie. The keeper's here at 8 inches. Good crappie. And while I'm sitting here, I'm still close enough. Just lay that lure right out. And give it a second. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11. It takes 11, me counting 11, before it is actually, and I just got bit, before it's actually down into the strike zone. You know, I could put an 1/8 on, get down a little faster, but the lure doesn't have the action. The heavier the head of the lure, the less action it has, and I want that lure to kind of swim around, almost look natural looking. And I'm giving it just subtle twitches, just little twitches, picking up on it. You know, you think about what does a minnow look like in the water? You know, he's swimming along, he may go up, he may go down. Figure he's just darting around, trying to stay out of the way and not get eaten. Well, there's another one on that dipstick color. Reacted good. Boom. 16th ounce head is what I'm using. Crappie is very warm. That's 9.5-inch crappie. Summertime crappie. That, boys, is what we're looking for. Deep. Good crappie right there. Boom. Good crappie. Good crappie. Good crappie, y'all. Man, these crappie, when they eat it, they eat it. Nice crappie, 11.5-inch fish. Pretty fish. Pretty fish. He come back up and jumped. Okay folks, let me update you. So I've came up the lake, kind of got up in one of the creeks. Water up here is, 10 to 14 foot deep in some places. I'm gonna fish a few docks. As you know, I enjoy fishing docks. You can catch a lot of fish. And I noticed the water temperature's dropped down to about 83 degrees. It's a little cooler up here. Not sure how the fish are gonna react, but we're gonna find out and actually see. I've switched over to my casting rod. This is just basically a 5.5 foot rod. I've got a Kalin's jig on the end, curly tail, and the nice thing about having live scope, you can scan a big dock and you'll know really quickly if it's fish on that dock or not. It could be full of fish and the fish just not bite. So today, for the most part, I fished some underwater structure. I've caught 1 or 2 fish, maybe 3 off some of them. 2 or 3 fish, and boom, they just, no more. So if I was keeping fish today, I would have to fish a lot of places in order to have, the numbers. And, hey, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you can find one spot. If the fish are biting every time you drop a lure to it, hey, by all means, you stay on that stack of fish, because, those fish are actually what's biting. And, sometimes you just have to fish a lot of spots in order to, actually have enough fish to keep. And for the most part, what I found, if you've got to, search, you just keep searching. Underwater structure, brush, humps, docks, you just keep on searching till you figure out a pattern. And a lot of times, you'll pick up a pattern, or you may pick up 2 fish from each place. You fish 10 places, you got 20 fish. And I'm gonna pull a little small crappie out. This is not what we're after. But basically that's kind of what I see. That's just a little juvenile crappie. Let's see if we can do a little bit better than that. That's a little bit better. Crappie. 9.5 inch crappie. Boom. Another small crappie. I'm gonna take this camera off and just show you how many crappie is under this dock. And these crappie this size, there's a huge school of them. They're all that size. They're in a tight ball under this dock. They're just there to, like shad getting in a school, they're there for protection. I'm gonna pop this off and let you see. All of that is crappie. Now there are smaller ones. You're looking at that dock. I mean, there's literally hundreds of crappie. You can see some shad off to the left, and I'm just moving this around. You can see the water crappie. You see a little bit bigger fish to the left there. Now sometimes, those crappie are there for protection. This dock is hard to fish. It's hard to get a lure back under there. There's a lot of cross bracing in there. You notice them fish is 6 feet to the top of the school, and it's about 10 feet to the bottom. So they're not really deep. And these fish are shallower, and they're biting a lot better. Now this would be a keeper fish. He is fairly thin. Boom. But an eater fish. And a lot of times, something else, folks, sometimes if the crappie are all the way out to the edge, like it's cloudy today. Now a lot of folks do not like fishing docks for the simple reason you get hung up a lot. But that's just part of fishing. And a lot of times on a cloudy day like that, those crappie will move right out. I'm hung now. Those crappie will move right out to the edge of the dock. And many times you don't have to throw under the dock. You can just swim the lure right down the side of it, and you'll have crappie that will come out and actually bite. Not always, but on a cloudy day like this, highly possible. If the sun was up, they would be further back under the dock. Now you notice what I did there? I got close to where I was hung, kept tension on the rod, pulled it out, and I got a fish on it, just like that right there. Boom. Look at that. And I'll show you that. Got unhung, lure come off the post, and boom, caught a fish. That's crazy stuff, ain't it? So sometimes you can get unhung. I'll show you one thing that I do. I try anyway. Sometimes you're deep, you can't run the rod down and poke it, but so you get a lot of tension just like this in the rod. You pull this line out this way, and what it does, it bends the rod even further, and then you just let it go. Thump! Sound effects. You just let it go real quick. You might want to do it 2 or 3 times, and what that does, that sends a shock wave down this line right here. And sometimes that vibration, if that hook is hooked like this, it'll shake that enough, you'll get it loose. So that's just a tip. Now, I've used that for years and years, and y'all have probably seen me do that on the video. That's a good crappie. Boom. Look at that. Vertical jigging in open water. Boom. Wow. Good fish. That is a good crappie, y'all. 11 inches. Now, I'm just out here in open water. That crappie was not around anything, just suspended in about 10 feet of water. A lot of shad out here working up and down in this straightaway. Not all crappie are deep this time of year. I'm telling you. Some of these crappie are shallow. The crappie was just suspended out here, and you know what he's doing. He's just out here hanging around them shad, waiting on the shad to be injured, and he's gonna swim over there and eat him. Boom. Well, I tell you what I'm doing. Still another open water fish. These fish out here in this straightaway, just scattered under the shad, following the schools of shad around. What I'm doing is taking a live scope and scanning out about 40 feet. When I see a couple of big signatures, I'm pitching the lure out. It's not but about 10 foot deep, so it sinks fast. Just pitching the lure out towards it and allowing the lure to fall. When it gets close to the crappie, I just let it float right over his head. Boom! They coming up and hitting. You know, almost like if I was trolling for these crappie, basically. You know, and it's not working all the time, but it is working some. So hey guys, we're getting ready to end this video, so let's talk about what we've done today. We come to the lake. The lake was 83 to 87 degrees, hot water, clear water, overcast day, July the 8th. We fished some deeper structure. biggest crappie I caught today were in about 20 to 22 feet of water. That was the biggest crappie, pushing that 11 to 12 inch, 12 and a half inch crappie. Good sized crappie for the summertime. The bite has been slow today for the most part. We went up the lake in one of the prongs, found some fish in 8 to 10 feet of water, schooled up on some docks. Those fish bit a little bit better than, say, those fish that were deeper. And we cast to those fish. They were a little more reactive. And we fished some that deeper structure. We'd catch 1 or 2 fish, maybe 3 off each spot, and we just have to move. Those crappie were fairly spooky. Once I got the boat over top of them, you could see the bigger crappie move away, which is fairly common. I really feel like if it was if the overall bite, they weren't really in a feeding mode. Next week we're gonna have a full moon. They'll probably be feeding a little more aggressively. Bass was feeding good. They were breaking the top of the water today. But anyway, hey, it's always good to get out and do some fishing. We used several methods: vertical jigged, cast, used hair jigs. Didn't really catch a lot of fish on the hair jig. Lake country baits actually probably caught the most fish today, vertical jigging, 16th ounce head. So hey guys, hey, get out to the, just because it's summertime, hot, doesn't mean you cannot catch crappie. I hope you've seen something in the video that you learned. I hope you've seen something in the video that helped you. And hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Subscribe to the channel. Comment. We always like to read the comments. I don't sometimes have time to get around to all the comments, but I try to get around at least a couple of times a month. A lot of life going on. Hey, click that like button. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Wildlife Adventures. And as always, you remember, it's a wild life, and I'll see you on the water.